Hey everyone, Leo with the Dreaming Tree, and welcome to the assembly video for our bow bag free SVG file. So I just finished up putting together our latest Bodacious Box Cards SVG bundle. You can see it here. It's beautiful. I've got one for a baby, could be for a baby shower, or just to say, hey, congratulations on a new baby. There's also one perfect for Mother's Day, spring, or someone that enjoys gardening. You've got plenty of room on the back to write your little sentiment. And then there's also a fruit one, which will come in handy for a variety of occasions. Anything where you want to, celebrate something bountiful, or maybe just because, or get well. Anyway, along with the new box cards, we've got a little freebie for a small gift. So if you're giving, hand delivering the card, and you also want to give a cute little gift, or it might even just be a gift card, we've got you covered here. Now, if this is your first time on the site grabbing one of our freebies, I do invite you to hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. It's a great way for us to stay in touch with you and for you to stay in touch with all of our latest offerings, including all of our freebies. So anyway, with that said, let's take a look at what we have here. I have the two halves of the actual bag, okay? And what I've already done, as you can see, is I've pre-folded everything. And I actually, because I used the solid score version, you do have the ability to use or make solid score lines instead of the perforated if your machine is capable of doing so. I used my Cricut maker to do that. So I pre-folded everything. I actually use this little tool, it's like a bone folder, to get the folds nice and crisp. I do notice that the folds are not as good as the perforated ones, but they are obviously better looking. So you want to fold everything at the score marks. And now this section here, as you know, like the little sandwich bags that you give the kids for school lunches, there's a fold in the center. So what I did was I actually just took it and folded it right down the center and gave it a little pinch at the top like that. I know it seems like you might destroy it, but if you're careful, you won't. And then these here, these that kind of go sideways, I just took this whole thing and brought it in like that. Same thing with this. Just go easy and do it slowly. Okay, you don't want to crease anything that doesn't need to be creased. All right, so with that said, the front and back are a little bit different. This is actually going to be the front. This is going to be the back. We've got the back, the little cutout looks like this. Okay, it's kind of got little teeth on one side. So we're going to put that down, and we're going to glue that down to the back of the actual structure. And you want to do that, when you put that down, you want to make sure that you keep a nice even border all the way around this piece. I'll show you what I mean here in a second. I'm going to pop this down so that there's white, the actual white of this structured piece is visible all the way around. The front's going to be a little bit different, and that's mostly just because the bow is going to cover the entire thing, and it was pretty pointless to cut that out because you're not really going to see it, and it's faster to cut just a straight line than it is a little squiggly one. Okay, so let's get the front on as well. Okay, and just go easy with the glue here. Less is more when it comes to glue. If you ever do one of our larger non-freebies, or even some of our more involved freebies, you'll see that I talk about that a lot. Less is more when it comes to glue. Okay, now actually I kind of goofed up here. We're going to put this down. You'll notice that on the face of this, there's like little cut marks into this, little guides right here at the top. This is actually going to go flush with the top of this piece, and then the remaining three sides will have that white border similar to the back piece. So the top is flush with the actual structure, border, border, border. Okay, make sure everything is sitting nice and flat. Give that a few seconds to set. Okay, and this little marker here is actually going to help us with the positioning of the bow. Okay, so that we can get it nice and centered and exactly where it needs to be. Make sure that's sitting nice and flat. And now what we're going to do is just take and connect these two sections together using this tab right here. So let's begin by applying glue to this tab. And with a tab like this, I like to go a little heavier on the glue, not too much though, and then take and spread that glue across the entire tab. Okay, that way everything looks nice and crisp. You can actually do this flat, take the other half, line it up move this tab out of the way. Don't glue that down accidentally just yet. I'm kind of looking at the bottom first just to make sure that that is lined up. And then just press down all the way, up and down here. I got a feeling that I may have missed a little spot down there with my glue, or it already started to dry, which is possible. We'll see. And that actually worked out nicely. I'm folding it over onto itself so I can kind of hit this edge with a little more force. Okay, so now this is all connected one piece, you can see. And to close it up, we're just going to take and glue this tab to this section, to the back section. So let's get that glue flowing onto the final tab here on the side. And I'm going to spread that glue out to the very edge. That way we don't have any gaps there. And we can actually put this down flat and flatten this out completely. Just bring this over and it should fit perfectly right on top of that tab. And then just to double check our work, once I push down a few times, I can take it and fold it over onto that seam and press that down. Okay, there we go. That looks good, and you can see how that's supposed to fold in. Okay, you don't have to fold it in all the way, but that's the desired look. And I probably prematurely released that when I should have been pushing down for a little bit longer to get that glue to really stick. And I think that did the trick here. Okay, we'll flip it over now. And we're going to move this out of the way. We have these 3 tabs. What we need to do is take this bottom and glue it down to these 3 tabs to close it up. Obviously, we don't want our little gift falling through the bottom. We got to have a bottom to our box. Okay, and just like I did before, I'm going to take that glue and spread it out to the very edges of the tab. There we go. And bring that down. You want to line it up with the side opposite of the side where it's already hinged. So focus on this side here. Get that nice and centered. Nice and centered. And then the other 2 sides should just kind of naturally fall into place. You can then flip it over, stick your hand inside and push down on those tabs. Just give that a quick push. Take a look at your edges, make sure everything is sitting nice and flush. That looks pretty good. If necessary, just kind of push down on any little areas where maybe it's not making the best contact. And I actually have a decent sized gap there, probably because I didn't have enough glue on there and it dried up too quick. So what I'll do is I'll take a little scrap piece of paper. After I am done cutting, I'll go through some of my scraps and just make little pieces, like little rectangles like this, so I can put glue on them. And I can just slide them into little areas where I need to paint a little extra glue because I just didn't get enough. And it just kind of came undone. And then I can just hold it down in that specific little spot, give it a little extra love so that it looks nice and clean. Okay, and now there's no gap there. Okay, so that's done. Now let's take a look at the bow. Very simple little bow here. Paper bows are great because they're easy and they stay in place and they never lose their shape, really. So I really like working with them. Okay, so here's the front of the box. Let's grab our bow. We've got a 3/8 inch dowel. And what I'm going to do is, starting at the base here, you'll notice that there's a little square in the center. You can fold it just to kind of make it more pronounced, just so that you can see it. Just kind of hold it by that little square. Take the dowel, place it at the base of one of the loops here, and one finger on the side. This is basically another finger. You could technically do it like this, but I like to use a dowel because it's more consistent. And what we're going to do is we're going to fold this up 90 degrees towards you and just run the dowel through it. Okay, and you can see what that did to it. Here's what it looks like before, and here's what it looks like after. I'm giving it a little bit of a curve. Okay, we're going to do the same thing with the other side. Place the dowel, or the paper, the little loop there between your finger and the dowel, bring it up 90 degrees and run the dowel through, and that's giving a nice little loop. Now, what we're going to do, notice that there's also a little square on the other side, like that. We're going to take and place some glue on our little square here, the square area. Okay, so this is the main side that I want to be visible. And I'm going to bring it in and just glue one square to the center square. Make sure it's nice and centered, and press and hold that down. give it a good push. Okay, there you go. And then we'll take and place glue on the other square and just bring that right on top of the center square and press and hold that down. Give it a real good push. If you want, you can use a dowel, kind of roll it like you're getting ready to make some pierogies or a pizza. Okay, and then just kind of wiggle them around a little bit so that they're nice and even, just like that. Okay, now you can hot glue this if you want. It might be easier. There's basically an L here and like a backwards L right here, and that is going to fit, the little square here is going to fit into those little markers. So what we're looking at here probably is it's pretty much going to be flush with the top of the box too, the very top of this. It looks like maybe, let me see here. Yep, that's what we're doing. So let's get some glue. Again, if you want to use hot glue for this, you can. I'm just going to be patient. Just use regular quick dry. Line up the bottom of this with these two little markers. And just get that nice and centered. And just keep holding that down. Make sure it's nice and even. You can kind of use your finger to feel that it's nice and flush there at the top. And just hold that down. And you can actually take and kind of push this out a little bit to flatten this out a little bit. You don't want to crease it. You want to still make it have a round appearance around the very edge. And you can kind of squeeze it a little bit to spread it out a little bit. Okay, so there we have that. And then next what we're going to do is we're going to take our little leaves here. And you'll notice that on the tips of these leaves, there's a little score mark there. What you can do here is kind of place this in between your two fingers like this and use your pointer to push down so that you can pinch the tip of the leaf. Okay, so I'm kind of cradling it like this, pushing down with my pointer just to crease it a little bit, and then taking these two fingers and giving it a pinch. Okay, so you're going to kind of angle down. Then we'll take this guy, same thing, just pinch the tip on this one like that. Place a little bit of glue right in the circle and pop that right on top of the other layer. Make sure that it's pointing down. Okay, and we do have a little 3D flower here that I will adorn with a purple rhinestone once I actually have it put together. And kind of the same thing with this. I've got a smaller dowel. This is less than 1/4 of an inch. I'll take that and place it between, place the petal between my finger and the dowel, bring it up 90 degrees, and run the dowel through. We'll do that to all 4 of the petals, and then the same thing with this one as well. Just run that dowel through, give that a little bit of extra dimension. And then just a small dot of glue right in the center there. Take the other one, place it right on top, and you want to offset it so that the petals are not on top of each other. Make it as full as possible. And then we will then take just a dot of glue, put it right on that little circle, and drop our flower right there. And again, I'm going to finish this off with a purple rhinestone. If you don't have a purple rhinestone, you can use a purple pearl, or if you're more into, I guess, if you're more into, what are those things called? The liquid drops. That's a good size. I never really trust the sticky back on the rhinestones, so I always add a little drop of glue right on there. Pop that right in the center, just like that. Now all of a sudden we've got ourselves a cute little flower that really didn't take that much work. And I will actually use a little 3D Zot to adhere this to my bow. So I've got a little 3D Zot here. It's just a, I don't know, it's just a little piece of flexible adhesive, I guess. It's almost like an epoxy. Okay, we'll throw that right on there. And then that's actually going to go right in the center here, which should kind of actually push the bow out a little bit. There we go. I also obviously hit the flower, the leaves, and the bow with a little bit of ink, as well as the sides of this little pattern piece as well. But that's pretty much it. So, you know, that would look great with any of these cards actually. So to finish it off, I'll probably use some tissue paper. Oh, you know what, I forgot to mention. Let's open this back up real quick. This piece here, this is a little liner piece. What you do with that is you put some glue in the bottom of your box or your bag, and this piece just goes right inside, and you press it all the way down, and that will actually not only make it look nicer in there so you don't see the tabs, but also kind of thicken up the bottom and make it a little stronger. Okay. So there we have that. Again, find some tissue paper, maybe pull some of the colors out of the pattern that you're using here, and obviously this green works with that. I've got a nice turquoise here that I've pulled out of here, and you've got yourself a cute little gift bag ready to go. Perfect for a gift card or anything that's roughly this size. So that's pretty much it, guys. Hopefully, if this was your first project or your 100th project, hopefully it was easy and fun. If you happen to make this or anything from our Bodacious Box Cards bundle, I would love to see it. And so would the rest of our community. So head over to your Facebook and do a search for Dreaming Tree Group. And again, as I mentioned, please take a moment and hit that subscribe button. We're almost at 45,000 subscribers. And it seems that about 50% of people that watch the videos on a regular basis are not subscribers. So it would be really cool if you hit that subscribe button for me. But either way, hope you enjoyed the project, and as always, I look forward to crafting with you again. Hey, thanks for crafting along with me. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, check out some of our other videos, and also please consider hitting that subscribe button. And don't forget to visit our site and check out our free SVG section, where we have over 140 free SVG files complete with assembly videos. I look forward to crafting with you soon.